Hello everyone. Okay, so I just wanted to start off by saying that this is just going to be an update video for the Mob Arena and a little bit of a brief description of the new features. A tutorial will come later, but for now this is just the brief description, and the world download is in the description of this video, so you can check it out for yourself. Hopefully that'll make things easier to understand. So, the basic arena, the one from the first video that we have, it's called linear mode. And that just means that the waves go in linear order, obviously. So that's just the default mode. Shuffled is basically linear mode. It's the same waves as linear mode, except it's randomized. It's shuffled. But full random, that's the newest one and kind of what I want to focus on in this video. That is the mode that creates a wave completely from scratch by spawning different mob types at a time. And as each wave goes on, more and more mobs are spawned. So this is just the toggle switch. The system for it is over there and back behind here. This block just gets changed depending on which mode it's selected to. So right now we should be on okay, now we're on linear progression. Press it again, shuffled. Press it again, full random. Then you can go back to linear. I will explain how everything works in all of this in the tutorial, but for now, just know that these things set up the waves, change certain things that need to be changed to make the different mode types work. So over here is the randomizer. How this works is in these top dispensers are villager spawn eggs and any item that doesn't spawn a mob. Basically, this command block clones these dispensers down into these dispensers just for an instant refill system, so you don't have to manually refill it. And how the randomizer works is it either shoots out a redstone dust or whatever item or a villager. If it spawns a redstone dust, nothing happens. If it spawns a villager, there's a pressure plate down in this box, and that gets activated by the villager, which adds a score to the fake player random wave 1, and that's just how it counts. You can adjust the probability by messing with the amount of villager spawn eggs in different slots or different redstone dust in different spots, because it'll pick one of these spots each time it's activated randomly. And if it's a villager, yeah. I have 15 randomizer boxes activated, but I think about 30 built. And we only need 15 because there's only 15 different mob types. You can adjust that, have as many as you want, for as many different mob types as you want. Now I only have 10 waves in shuffled mode, but since there's 15 randomizer spots, it's going to generate a number obviously above 10. So instead of testing for just 10 on that wave in shuffled mode, we're going to test for a minimum of 10. So any number 10 or higher will activate the 10th wave, and all the other numbers are set like this. That's set in the shuffled system, or the shuffled mode wave system, which you'll see later, but it's the same commands here, so I'll show you here. So see, it's testing random wave 1414. On the maximum wave we'd have just 15, well in our case 10, like that. but other than that it's minimum of number, maximum of number, so it only checks for that number. In shuffled mode, it's activated by automatically placing a redstone block above this redstone dust, which is then turned to air. That activates the system, runs through all that, and generates a random number. Now in full random mode, it just replaces this hopper with a hopper with 10 redstone dust in it on wave 1, which activates this piston, which activates this clock, and each time the clock goes around, it activates the randomizer. And obviously the longer this comparator is activated, this piston is activated, the more mobs spawn because it's the longer the clock runs through. For wave 1 it's 10 redstone dust, wave 2 it's 15, wave 3 20, and so on. After that, well, during that, I guess, the clock also runs down this line to these, which test that random wave from those boxes to, it tests for the random number it generates. Then it sets the random wave back to 0, just so the number gets reset and it generates a completely random number instead of piling on itself to keep adding up and adding up. Then it summons an invisible armor stand in this box, which is then teleported it's teleported to the player that's closest to the center of the arena. And as the player moves, the armor stand is left behind, there's a small delay, and then it summons a mob, a random mob, into that box, and then teleports the mob into the armor stand in the arena. So it kind of feels like it's a random spawn point system, but it's not really. And then it just gets rid of the armor stand, which in this case is named Rand stand. It's just to make the commands a little easier. And then it sets the score of the different types of mobs, their mob score, to 1, which is the system that differentiates between players and mobs. I'm not going to go into that because I explained that in the original. And that's about it for the randomizer systems and the full random wave setups. You can obviously put any different types of mobs you want to spawn in these command blocks. But that's about it. So what I was talking about, the toggle switch back there in the join room, setting up the systems, is basically if you're on full random, a wool block is here, then an air block is here and there. If you're on shuffled, wool block there, air block here, air block there, and then if you're on linear, wool block there, air block there, air block here. So these are the wave end systems, and they have to be different because they do different things, obviously. This test for command is the same in all of them. It's just testing for entities with the score of a mob score of 1, and if it doesn't find any, this torch comes on because this is not powered, which for full random it adds fake player final wave, wave 1. So the fake player final wave basically just counts the waves in the random mode since it's unrelated to the actual wave number. So if it starts wave 7 in shuffled mode, it'll still say you're on wave 1, and then you finish that, it's wave 2, etc. And the same for full random, it'll create a wave 1 and say it's wave 1 and then a wave 2 and so on. This one just does a couple things, basically the same things, but I will again go into more detail on this in the tutorial that will be coming out soon. One small thing I did is I replaced the give commands in these armor things to replace item entity, basically just to auto-equip the armor instead of forcing the players to equip it. I don't know why I didn't do that originally. Up here is just the full random wave setup. Basically all this does is it tests for that fake player final wave score. On wave 1 it sets the redstone in the hopper for the clock down there on the randomizer to 10, so that's wave 1, empties the chest, and then just does a tell raw command to tell players that it's wave 1. And then wave 2 it goes 15, 20, 25, and so on. That's about it for that. That's pretty simple. Now this is the shuffled wave mode. Basically, it looks pretty much the same to the linear mode, because it is the same waves, but it's testing for the random wave score from the randomizer. And so if it's 7, it'll start wave 7, etc., etc. And this just tests that final wave score again, and then it's just a tell raw to say the wave. Oh hell. Did not mean to do that. And that's it for that system. Okay, that's about it for what I have to explain. I am going to quickly join full random in spectator mode just so you can see the armor stands being spawned and such. Mode 3. It'll just be the default class since it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's an armor stand and then it's replaced with a skeleton. See, so as the player moves, the armor stands are spawned on top of them, and it kind of simulates a random spawn system, I guess. And see, there's more mobs as each wave goes on, and that'll keep going on until wave 10. So that's about it. Like I said, I would definitely love requests, and I would love if you give me feedback on this system, or maybe tell me ways to make it better if you have any ideas. So thanks for watching. Bye! If you're on shuffled, wool block will be here. Obviously, well, not obviously, but cut that out. So obviously, no, not obviously. Jesus, what's wrong with me? I'm sorry. Cut that out again. Anyway, starting over. 3, 2, 1.